Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Picture Perfect. But before we do, we just want to remind you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see our videos as they come out. Okay, Picture Perfect is designed by Anthony Nouveau and it is published by Arcane Wonders.
All right, so I think we've all had that experience where there's like a class photo that we need to take, and like someone's like, okay, all the tall people go to the back or whatever, but there's like risers, and so you have to have all tall people in one area, but then you also have like, Susie does not want to be standing next to Billy, but Billy really does want to be standing next to Timmy, and so you have to keep everybody happy so that way they're smiling in the photo. You want everybody like crying in the class photo, and you have to keep everybody organized in a certain way, make sure everybody has like those windows. Remember, you had to find those windows that everyone's faces could be showing. And organize it all already, and then quickly snap the photo and capture that little moment. And that's what this game is kind of all about. You are all photographers. You're trying to take the perfect picture of this group of people, but they all have preferences. Maybe they want to be on the left side of the stage. Maybe they want to be dead front. Maybe they want to be next to their best friend. Whatever the case is, you know a little bit of information about each one of them. As the game goes on, you're going to learn more and more. You're trying to rearrange your people in your photo so that way you get the best possible picture, making everybody's preferences as happy as possible so that way they're all happy with the photo and the end result. All right, let me give you a quick overview of how to play. All right, here is our setup for Picture Perfect. In the middle here, we have a table with all kinds of different decorations on it. When we're playing the base game, those decorations are literally just that. They are to make your picture look pretty cool. We also have our shield so no one else can see how we are arranging our figures on the board. All right, so we're going to simulate a two-player game. 3 and 4 players plays a little bit differently, but it's the same kind of idea. All right, so we have 5 of these packets that were given to us, 5 that are given to our opponent, and then we have 4 that are kind of in the middle of the table. One at a time, we're going to get a chance to look at the cards that are inside these packets that are going to give us various parameters and preferences of these characters. Up until the very end of the game, we kind of have free reign to move around these things, try to match things up, try to get as many points as possible by pairing things around. At the end of the game, that's kind of when the final organization happens. You're actually going to use your cell phone to take a picture of what you've done and kind of go through each one of the packets individually to see how well you've scored. All right, so let's just look at one of our packets and see what we can do with it. All right, so our first character, we've got 3 cards inside here. The first one says, okay, this character wants to be on the left side of the picture. It looks like they also want to be at the table. So that's kind of easy. We can put them on the left side of the table. Then it also says they want to be next to this character. We can do that pretty easily. So let's play around with that a little bit. All right, for now, let's just go ahead and put him right there in the front. And then his friend that he wants to be next to, right behind him. So that way, all 3 of the parameters for that character are currently being met. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, this particular character says, all right, they want to be in the 3rd row. All right. They want to be next to this character, and they don't want to have anyone in front of them. Well, I think we could make that happen as well. So let's go ahead and take that character. Let's put them right here in the front and middle. That way no one's in front of them, but they are still in the 3rd row. And we're going to put the character they want to be next to right alongside them. So this is great. So far, we have 2 characters we know are very happy with their way they're staged. Now, however, we don't know what their buddies actually want, so we might have to rearrange things a little bit more. We're trying to keep as many people happy as possible. After we've gone through all 5 of the packets that we have, then we're going to go through basically a chance where we're going to switch things up a little bit. All right, so what we would do is we'd put all of our cards back into their packets. Remember, we only get to look at one of them at a time. And we have to put all the cards back inside the packet before we before we move on. We may only get a chance to look at the cards inside that packet only one time. Maybe it moves away from us. We don't get a chance to re-look at it again. Whatever the case is, there's a little bit of a memory element as well. Once both players look at their cards, we're going to go through this deck. We're going to flip the top one over and do whatever it says. This particular one says, reveal the contents of 2 random envelopes from the middle of the table to both players. So we set us across some cards that are in the middle of the table there, and what we would do is we would reveal the contents of those one at a time to both players involved, so that way we kind of get some additional information. But those cards are going to stay in the packets in the middle of the table. And remember, each time we learn some new information, we get a chance to put some more characters on the board, move things around, do whatever we want to do to try to make as many people happy as possible. At any point in the game, each player at the beginning of the game is given a VIP card. What you can do is you can add that VIP card to any packet that you think you're doing really, really well at. What you can do is you can put that in the packet. It's worth double points for both you and your opponent at the end of the game. So generally, you want to put it into a packet that you think is going to be something that you know a lot about and your opponents don't know a lot about. On the reverse side of your divider, you actually have the kind of your scoring board. So when you're all said and done, you've taken your picture, now you do all your scoring. You reveal the packets one at a time for all players. If there's ever a point where you have missed all 3 parameters for a character, you're going to get negative 3 points. If you got at least 1 right, you get 1 point. If you got 2 right, you get 3 points. If you got all 3 right, you're going to get 6 points. All right, this one is saying there is a chance for you to not put a character out there. Let's say you don't know what they want, or maybe you just can't find a good place for them. If you don't put them out there, they simply score nothing, and that's fine. All right, so this right here is referring to using one of the kind of the variants of the game, the auction variant. What you're going to do is you're going to use those decorations in the middle of the board there. It's kind of an auctioning way of revealing new information. Instead of having cards revealed like this and flipped over, you get a chance to auction for more information using those decorations as currency in your picture. At the end of the game, every 2 of those decorations is going to be worth 1 point. That's kind of a new and exciting way to add a different way to get information revealed to you, and some extra scoring opportunities as well. When all the packets have been revealed and all the characters have been gone through and scored, whoever has the most points wins the game. Some cards might refer to maybe certain people being in front of or behind other people. What you're going to have to do is you're actually going to have to use your cell phone camera to take a picture of your scene, so that way you can kind of prove whether or not you've made that happen. Maybe certain characters want to have their faces hidden, or maybe they want to be behind hidden people, whatever the case is. That'll all be determined by the picture that you take.
I really like the aesthetic of this game and the theming and the style. I thought it made a lot of sense because, we can take a million selfies. If we don't like our picture, we can just take 20 more. We gotta do another one. See, just like that. It's that easy, right? But here we are in like this 1920s. You're setting up to take a picture. You're just taking that one picture. That's why you have to work so hard to make it perfect. You're not gonna be able to take 100 selfies for this. You're just gonna take that one picture. So I really liked how they put the gameplay in that theme and with that aesthetic and in that time period. I just really enjoyed that.
So this comes across kind of like a deduction puzzle, like a logic puzzle, where you're trying to solve this puzzle and kind of make it all happen and work through all the angles to kind of get everything set up the way it is. But the thing is, it's not a true logic puzzle because the things that you're putting in these envelopes are randomized, and they can conflict with each other. Maybe someone's cool with being on the left or the right, but that means you can't do both at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's no perfect solution, right? There's no you can't solve this game because every time it's gonna be different, and you're trying to make as many people as happy as possible. You're not gonna get it all, so it's not a true logic, not a true deduction puzzle. You're just trying to make it happen.
I like how you start with your envelopes, and so you're getting that perfect, but then as the game progresses, you have access to more envelopes and what other people want. So you're not overwhelmed with all this information. Not only that, but sometimes depending on how the game plays, you might not even have access to the information that you need to figure out where everybody wants. And you can choose to not score somebody, so you can choose to not put them in the picture at all. But chances are them being in there is going to affect other people's scoring, so you're going to put them in there anyway, even if you don't meet that objective, because it is helpful for something else. But I liked how you're not overwhelmed with all of these things all at once, and how you kind of ease into it while also still needing to manipulate and move everything around.
All right, so this game had 2 rule books. Usually I see that in either very, very, very heavy games where you need the 2 rule books because there's just so much information that they're giving you.
Yeah.
And I get that. Or it's just really annoying, and I hate it when games do that. It's like, I don't want to deal with that. I want to have one rule book. In this game, it actually worked, and I was actually fine with it. The first rulebook, which was the smaller of the 2, got you going. You actually got to play the full game without having to read the second book. So you just learned it, you ruled it, you learn all the rules, and you're going right then and there. Even as we were kind of setting up, we were setting up as the rulebook told us to, and we were good to go. The secondary rulebook was more about 2 things. First of all, references. So if there
Yeah.
was ever like a card that you weren't quite sure what it meant, it was kind of clarified in more detail on the second rule book. But on top of that, there's a more advanced mode that kind of involves auctioning off information. Kind of using currency, these different decorations as currency to learn how to play the auction mode of the game, and that's in that secondary rulebook as well. So just to get going, all you need is that first rulebook, which made it we just jumped right in, and I liked that.
So overall, I thought this game was fine. I wanted more. I mean, I've heard people talk about this game for a while now, and I was really looking forward to it. And it wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. I wanted there to be more in this game. I guess I was a little disappointed. Like, I came here expecting this, like, huge feast, and I got, like, a snack. And I just wanted it to be, I don't know. I think I wanted it to be a different game. I had just heard so many people talk about it and talk so well about it. And that's all I can think of is I just wanted it to be more. I mean, you have all these components, all these great pieces, these standees, the envelopes, the little cards. And I just thought for as much great components as you get, the gameplay was like, meh.
I actually liked the scoring quite a bit. I thought it was very clever.
Yeah.
The more parameters that you achieve on an individual person, the more incremental points that you got. So I think that was very clever. But at the same time, if you completely missed out, you got negative points. And I thought that was a very appropriate as well. You got someone upset in your photograph. I think that the VIP card was a nice little addition too.
Yeah.
Kind of give yourself some asynchronous knowledge. I know that I've got this one person completely figured out. I'm going to put my VIP card in there, and then that way, hopefully the other person doesn't have the person figured out. So when that's doubled up with a VIP card, it's going to work out in my favor and not in theirs. Gives you kind of a leg up. This is a very cool looking game. It is absolutely, it's phenomenal in its table presence, right? I don't think you can walk by this game and not be like, tell me more about this game. This looks so cool. What's going on here? And I think that I love that aspect of this game. One thing I think that's, for me personally, I do like true logic and true deduction games. And so I was kind of trying to figure out, okay, how can I possibly solve all this to make it exactly perfect? And you just can't. And I think for me, that was a little bit of I understand why and how that works.
Yeah.
I just was, at the same time, kind of craving a perfect solution, and just, it's not possible to do. Overall, what a unique game. No matter what else, this is a very unique game. Getting a chance to take a picture, actually be the photographer, and then try to match those parameters. Pretty interesting.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching it. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.